All right, so the fiber optic or the starlight sides, one of them is done. I'm going to do the other one when I get a chance. Show you guys how am I going to do it. Basically, poke some holes into the carpet, feed the fiber optic cable through, and or strings through, and then hot glue the ends once they're pulled through and set up. But you got to be careful with the hot glue, because if you heat it too much, it'll actually melt the fiber optic strand and pull out, and it won't stick. The whole idea is to kind of make it in a way where it'll stick, and it'll sit right on the actual carpet. So I'll show you guys a little bit on how to do it when I do the other side. All right, guys. So what I like to do is when I remove the panel and I'm doing the twinkle lights or the starlight, whatever, I usually mark the panel with white little dots using a paint marker. And the reason why I do that is when I poke the holes, it'll be easier for me to see which dots have been poked, because it'll show a lot nicer on the white. And then I start feeding the wire. But I start feeding the wire from a direction that will allow me to sort of have it flow through down on the floor. So for example, what I did for this one is I ran it in a way where, let me remove this one, it feeds on this side and it'll connect up onto the power receptacle. So I have to kind of arrange the twinkle lights in a way where you're going to run the harness. So in this case, this is the top portion of the trunk and this is the bottom portion. So I'm going to lay it from here so I can lay the actual wire from towards the underneath, and I'll show you guys in a minute how to do it. And that way you'll have a lot more manageability. The fiber optic wire comes in a little plastic sleeve. I like to keep the sleeve together because it keeps it organized, and just remove enough of the sleeve in order for me to be able to run the actual wires through. So hopefully that helps you guys. This is the first approach that I take when I do this. Okay. So now this is kind of the aftermath. All right, so Pin made their little holes in where all the white spots were. Fed the actual fiberglass, or not fiberglass, but the fiber optic wire, and used a glue gun to glue the ends. Now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to chop and cut everything up to trim everything from the other side, because if you turn it around, this is what you're kind of left with. So you kind of have to sort of trim it. I'm going to plug it in to turn it on so I know where to trim. And word of caution when you're using a heat gun: if you use too hot of a heat gun, like for example, this is a 6100 heat gun. This is an industrial kind of like a glue gun. All right. And this is the Dinky Winky 599 Amazon kind of a glue gun. You want to use one of these Dinky Winky ones, and the reason why that is, the Dinky Winky ones just get hot enough. These ones get too hot to the point where they actually melt the fiber optic wire. So you don't want to be, putting in like a glue drop and then melting it off, and then kind of chopping it up, because that kind of defeats the purpose and it kind of ruins the whole work. So as a caution and as an advice, when you guys are doing these things, if you attempt to do it yourself, it's super easy. Don't pay anybody to do it. But I mean, it's up to you. Different people do it in different ways, right? We like to do everything ourselves here. Use a Dinky Winky gun because it never gets really that hot. And these ones actually use a bigger rod as well for a glue gun. Doesn't matter whether you use yellow, black, or white glue sticks. The yellow ones are supposed to be a lot heavier duty, but you want to use the Dinky Winky heat gun that uses the thinner glue, which is just enough for the little points, and it creates like little backgrounds like this. So the reason why these are different colors is I ran out of the yellow and I put in the black one. So this is, if there's any advice I can give you guys, is do that. That way you don't destroy your fiber optic wire. Okay. So the trunk is done. Got to do the plexiglass panel to cover the hardline setup. I kind of have it opened up with nice LEDs. You got the starlight Both sides of the starlight looks actually pretty spectacular. Turned out great. I'm gonna mount the panel tomorrow, and it just looks really, really sick. So this pretty much completes everything. You guys learned a little bit on how to do the twinkle lights. This is just a regular plexiglass panel that shows off the hardline setup, so nice and clean. And pretty much that's it. I'm gonna send some pictures of the car fully aired out, or do a little vlog about that. But I kind of like how the trunk setup turned out.